today with Saturn squaring Uranus, what's happening for me today is my own authority. I'm taking back my own authority. I just removed a huge cord to my partner about him owning the power in our relationship. I took it back. I removed it, and now I own all this power of Pluto. Pluto is more powerful than Saturn, but I've never knew how to own my power. There's always been this battle inside me, knowing I had power, but not the rest of the world didn't know it. And certainly not the men in society and the men in my world. And so I'm stepping into, and I've known this has been coming, I've been stepping into this place of owning my own authority, being my own responsible self, and owning the power that I have as a healer and the individuality I have as a healer, and making that and more present in the first house expression of me, rather than being this hidden self. I've always hidden all of my thoughts and emotions and gifts and talents here, but now I'm ready to birth them out into the world. And that's also going to be Jupiter in Pisces, is about largely expressing, largely being in touch with the spiritual realm. And if you'll notice here, I have Jupiter and the North Node at the midheaven in Gemini, which we just had a huge solar eclipse in Gemini 4 days ago. And I knew this was coming. I planned for it. I did ceremony for it, because I am on a proactive path. And I'm waking up this aspect of me, moving into how do I be the divine messenger here of communication and wisdom, divine wisdom, and spread it to the masses. How do I do that? And all this lifetime of mine, I've had this tension with Saturn, because I gave my authority and my power to those outside of me. And now I'm reclaiming it so that I can step into this place. And this trine hits here too. So part of what happened for me today in removing the cord, again, we're talking about the energies of today. Saturn is the structures, and for me it was bondage. It was a sense of bondage, to not be free. I wasn't free to express myself in truth, to do my energy work, to do what I uniquely want to do, rather than what my partner wants to do or society might think is right for me to do. And I had all of these internal mechanisms, structures that Saturn is the holder of, that was keeping me in bondage. And perhaps having Saturn in Aquarius has gotten me to be able to see that, to bring it into consciousness. Uranus is bringing in this new identity of me, or perhaps it's an old identity that I am remembering, thank God, but birthing it in today. It literally did feel like structures, deceptive and hidden structures, were keeping me from seeing my own authority, my own ability to make decisions, to own my body, actually, to own my physical body as mine, and everything I want to do in it, including energy work, including being a healer, including standing in a crowd and being seen as a strong, wise woman. And so I broke through that today, and here is the new Age of Aquarius me. on the earth plane, in Taurus on the earth plane, in higher philosophy. And this is the liberated Saturn in Aquarius. Liberated from the old, dysfunctional, lower vibrational energies that will not take us into the age of Aquarius. And I want to talk about Pluto. Pluto is also a huge piece of my identity. I've been praying to Pluto lately to show me my power, because I was born with huge power, and yet I was unaware of it, until it's been emerging the past few years. And I was afraid to own it. I was afraid here to own my power because I felt like I would be judged and kicked out of the tribe, so to speak. But that's an old belief. Saturn rules time, and I always thought my power will come later in some future moment, but I'm really ready to have it now. And I'm not young anymore. I'm like so ready. I've also been getting huge transformation happening here with Chiron. And with Chiron being next to Saturn in my 7th house, there's always been this huge amount of wounding in the patriarchy, in the balance of how to be in partnership with someone, masculine, feminine, in my case anyway. And of course the masculine, feminine in yourself. And so Neptune has been really going back and forth here all year and last year, alchemizing these energies in the wound. Chiron is also a great healer. So it's about time for me to own my authority as a healer in my partnership. And what that means to me is I'm not going to heal my partner, although maybe that'll happen in hindsight, but I need to own my power as a healer so that I am seen as a powerful, separate being within the relationship. In the past, I've always felt like I merged. Pisces was very confusing for me. It always felt like I merged all of my energy into my partner, and there was none left for me as the individual. And Pisces is also sacrifice. Sacrificing myself, maybe sacrificing this healer self in the past for the good of the relationship. And now I'm ready to kind of let go of that belief system and turn this around to own my authority as a healer in relationship in the spiritual realm. And I'm pretty excited because who knows what will happen with that. It could be that I co-create with my partner, or it could end up being that I simply own my sovereignty in this relationship. And then of course I go on into the world to do other things. And I feel like that's really been the life theme for me, is how to own my sovereignty. Pluto might also be sovereignty, although sovereignty is in some way a boundary which is ruled by Saturn. So it's very interesting how they're kind of closely tied. And now I'm bringing my personal self into the forefront. And I think that that's going to be Jupiter next year in Pisces. Jupiter's going to come in here and really open up this relationship and structure even more, so that I can delve into that deeper. With Chiron here in Aries, it's been in my 8th house, right? So Chiron is transforming all the places where I have not been an individual, or have not been selfish, where I have not taken the action steps to take care of me first. So Chiron is breaking away the areas that were hidden from my psyche about my individuality. And it's going to be interesting. I'm not really sure how that's going to shift. It's pretty exciting for me. And I can't wait till next year when Pluto gets into Aquarius. As my power gets into Aquarius, it's going to be that marriage here. This team. This is like such a really strong team. And Pluto in Aquarius is basically Pluto and Uranus having a party. After a long time of not seeing each other, here they are again. And there'll be all these other things happening, so it'll be the door will be open for the flow to happen, is the way I see that. When we had this solar eclipse 4 days ago, it's a North Node solar eclipse in Gemini. The North Node is conjunct my North Node. I'm having a nodal return. I'm ruled by Mercury, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and my MC and my North Node are Mercury. So I am ruled by Mercury in my chart. So the fact that Mercury was retrograde in Gemini in its home sign, to me, was huge, because this is about revisiting the internal thought processes, the internal the thoughts and the belief systems that maybe have not been serving my highest good. Revisiting those. I have visited them a lot in my life, and it feels like I actually gained a little more clarity and headway this time around. This Jupiter is almost square. It is almost square my MC, so it's 2 degrees here, and my MC is 8. So it's been activating this energy, all of this. And I also had the solar eclipse on my Jupiter. The solar eclipse was at 20, and my Jupiter's at 22. So you cannot deny the activity that was happening here. And you've got a exact square there, Chiron and Jupiter. So Chiron was almost exact square the solar eclipse. So really showing me, actually that tells me a lot about today. This eclipse woke up in me what the wound was, and I worked on a huge wound today. I removed a very powerful cord that was impeding my growth, and now my job is to do the work here in relationship. The work is me becoming a healer and owning my right to my body as a feminine healer. We've also got Venus in Cancer, and this is about the home. To me, the home is the heart. It is the moon, and the moon was here with the sun. This is today, but at the eclipse, the moon was there. I'm a Leo. I have a Leo sun. And here, this is interesting. So Mars just entered Leo, so it's activating all of my sun, my identity, my masculine energy, my yang. Mars is yang, my sun is yang in a fire sign. Mars is ruled by Aries, which is fire. The eclipse is fire. I'm fire. Mars is fire. And on the day of this eclipse, I was doing ceremony in the mountains and a forest fire broke out. I literally had to be packed up quickly by the sheriff and forced to leave. Like, we could see flames across the road. Huge forest fire. Lots of energy, lots and lots of energy. And I'm grateful to have been so close to that. Spirit brought me, for whatever reason, to that mountain on that day. So, I think I'm done for now. Thank you for listening.